How you doing, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to BattleTech with Scout and McCormick's Armored Cavalry. So we're still in orbit over Clough Stand, and we got an interesting offer from the planetary government. Apparently, they had a fight with the Capellans here a long time ago, and they're having an issue with a lance of Capellan mechs that refuse to believe the war is over. Now, this is a pretty interesting mission because it's an opportunity to get some mechs that are pretty large.
Command interface
And
initiated.
because they are relics of the previous combat, they're actually usually in bad shape. So I'm really excited about this mission because it's a potential to get a good mech, but I've also had it go really,
Shooting
really
buildings is
bad when
fun. They
sometimes
can't
those
run
mechs
away.
are just too big and too bad for me to take down. So you can see we dropped here in the middle of the city, moved straight up the road, and immediately made contact. And you can see there's something moving off to the right. Now, based on how quick it reacted, I'm assuming it's a light. So we're just going to sit here in the road and we're going to reserve and try to force our opponents to come to us. Again, we're going to reserve again. Seems like something moving, but maybe not. And now normally I wouldn't do this, but I reserved again. But typically the only thing that moves on one is assault mechs and turrets. And yet, unbelievably, there was a mech closing in on us at turn one. So we take Decker,
On it.
we move him up for a pretty significant evasion. And we also put him in these trees here, which are just enough to count as cover to try to get eyes on. And then we sensor lock because we can't draw a line of sight. And lo and behold, it's a T-bolt. And not only is it a T-bolt, it is the 5SS. And you can see here, like, I'm circling this because I'm really excited. This is my favorite 3025 era T-bolt. It's basically a little battle master. And like I told you guys, not only does it have damaged armor, it's also for whatever reason got sensor impairment.
What's up, boss?
So immediately I'm excited
Roger
but
that.
also concerned because this is a mean mech. So what I start doing with my mediums is I start backing off because remember he can't see us. We didn't have line of sight of him either. We sensor locked him. So I'm backing off and I'm going to start throwing
Aye,
AC5s
aye.
and LRMs at this T-bolt at long range. Now he's guarded, so he's going to get damage reduction, but this is all going to stack up, particularly on a mech that already has damaged armor.
Engaging target.
AC2s. Remember, AC2s do more damage here in BattleTech than they would on the tabletop, so it's not
On
insignificant
my way.
to peg him with AC2s. And of course, we back up with Glitch and then take a shot with the PPC and the LRM5. So not only is he going to have more sensors impaired now, but he definitely didn't need that PPC hit. Now let's see how our opponents are going to react. We still got this guy on the flank, and it looks like he's actually trying to get to that alley, and then he'll cut basically left on the screen and try to get into our flank. And then we got someone else coming right at us. Let's see, we almost got line of sight. It blipped in and out there, and we're going to reserve again. And again, this is all about forcing the enemy to make a bad move or to stumble into us so that we can pounce on them. And I'm showing you guys a little bit more detail here because I want you to see exactly how it happened
Holding
and
for
how
the
I
right
took this
opportunity.
mech down, because I was pretty nervous doing this. Like I said, I've actually lost these. And there's the T-bolt coming forward, and he fires a shot at Decker's Jenner, and thank goodness he missed, because that would have hurt a lot. So there's some hemming and hawing here. I was trying to figure out what to do. I decided
Affirmative.
discretion is the better part of valor. I jumped back with Decker, and then rather than shoot, I sensor lock him, because what that gives us is a T-bolt with
Got a
no
lock.
evasion, no cover, in the wide open. And immediately we move up and start to pounce with the whole rest of our lance, because now we got a chance to fire at this
Acknowledged.
guy in the open with no cover and no evasion at medium to short range. So we start off with Behemoth, move up, and open up with everything that we've got.
Firing a full salvo.
And then, of course, we're going to follow it up with Hades. Again, we're trying to move up to get our medium lasers in play as well as the AC2s. Fortunately, we were just fast enough to be able to do it. And once again, we're going to open up with everything. I'm looking at his torso, making sure there's no ammo in there, thinking about a called shot or a precision strike. You can see here, I'm thinking about it. I can't remember if I took it or not. I don't think I did. I think I just went ahead and fired. Looks like I was thinking, yeah, see, right leg. Let's see, I can't remember what I did here. I went ahead and did the precision strike. And what you could see me doing there was trying to, how much damage will it take? Can I get his leg or not? Now you'll see what I did get there is a headshot, and that's going to be really important because remember, pilots can only take 3 injuries before they're incapacitated. Glitch opens up, does some pretty significant damage there again. You see we're starting to get crits now, a medium laser destroyed and a heat sink is destroyed. But now we're all out of Schlitz, and it's our opponent's turn. Mech on the flank turns out to be a spider who jumps over and engages Behemoth's Shadowhawk.
Barely hit, Commander.
And instead of saving, I decided to go ahead and move Decker now because I want to pounce on this T-Bolt before he gets a chance to move again. So we move up into Decker again, move up with Decker again, getting as much evasion as we can and also going for cover. And then we can't precision strike, so we just open up with all 3 medium lasers. We do get a leg hit though, so that's nice. And you can see the stability damage is starting to stack up on this T-Bolt as well. Now here's where the size of the mech comes into play, because this T-Bolt's not going to get to move till after all of my mediums. You see the Urban Mech comes up there, takes a shot with his AC-10 at Decker and misses. We bring Behemoth up kind of to the left the same way basically that we did with Decker, and then we open up with everything on the T-Bolt again. Oh, and that's bad for him. There goes his left torso and his left arm as well as his right leg. So he takes a pilot hit from the torso loss and a hit when he hits the ground, and that's it. We actually have the T-Bolt relatively intact, and I'm so excited at this point. And then that happens. A Hunchback 4P comes up and just rips into Hades' Blackjack with those medium lasers, and that really hurt. And now I'm starting to concerned, like, can I get out of here with my salvage intact? And then I'm also excited because I kind of want the Hunchback as well if I can get it, but I don't think I have enough salvage. So first things first, we're going to take out the Urban Mech because he didn't move for much. He's not particularly durable, and he's got an AC-10 that's particularly dangerous. And don't think I'm not thinking about that Centurion down in our mech base. You can see I'm trying to get over on the left side of him, and I want to try to take out a leg and drop this Urban Mech. I don't want to destroy the AC-10. I'd like to be able to capture it. There we go. A head hit again. Left leg destroyed, knocked down. That's 2 injuries on that pilot already. So one more injury or wiping out his other leg will take out that Urban Mech intact. We might come out of this with a T-Bolt and an AC-10 for our Centurion, and I'm getting really excited at this point, and also really worried that that Hunchback is going to come down that ramp and just slice into somebody with all those medium lasers. So on our turn, we want to make sure we keep Decker moving, getting him the most amount of evasion that we can. We don't want him to end up like that Urban Mech. And I decided to go ahead and do the called shot on the down mech. We're going to target his leg. Here you see me counting up the armor and the structure because I don't want to overdo it. But you don't want to underdo it either, because remember, you might get some misses. They're not going to go where you want. And unfortunately, didn't get enough hits on the leg to take out the Urban Mech. He stands up and then does something that you actually can't do in BattleTech. He stands up and then jumps. You can't do that in the tabletop, but whatever. And then he slams Decker's Jenner with that AC-10 and opens it up.
Structure damage.
Not good. And I'm really worried about the Hunchback closing in at this point. So we move Behemoth up into these trees. That counts as a little bit of cover. And we're going to do precision strike on the Urban Mech's leg and try one last time to take him down intact and get that AC-10 for use in our Centurion that's back on the Leopard. Decide not to fire the LRM-5. Of course. We take off the right arm and the right torso, which does incapacitate the pilot and gets us the Urban Mech relatively intact, but I'm pretty sure that AC-10 is destroyed. So the only way to get it now would be to salvage the entire Urban Mech. And look at that volume of fire. It opens up Hades' Blackjack again. And I was starting to get a little bit worried at this point that I might lose a mech. But remember, the 4P Hunchback doesn't have great endurance. It doesn't have the heat sinks to do this all day, and you can see that that mech's starting to get really hot. So I just want to keep my distance from him if I can, and continue to just pound him. trying to get that stability damage here. I'm thinking about actually closing in with Behemoth and trying to knock him down. So these next shots are going to be particularly important. The PPC does stability damage. The LRM5s will do stability damage. We just want to stack as much stability damage on him right now as we can, and then hopefully knock him down. Here's that spider. He's going to go ahead and take his shot at the back of Behemoth's Shadowhawk, but with only 2 medium lasers, he'd have to put them both into the same location to actually penetrate my rear armor. I do carry enough to take a medium laser to the back. So again, I was a little concerned here. I'm hedging my bet, so I'm taking Decker and actually swinging in behind the Hunchback 4P, and I'm going to head and do a precision strike, and I don't really have enough unless everything goes in the right spot, but I'm thinking I can take off the right torso of this Hunchback, and then maybe if I can knock him down, get ahead of it, I might be able to actually incapacitate this pilot as well. But unfortunately, it doesn't go my way. You see the medium laser spread out. So the big moment, Behemoth moves in and kicks him right in the center torso rear, completely destroys the mech. So all that setup for nothing. But we still get the win, and then the spider is a pretty easy kill. He's not going anywhere. We surround him, shoot him, kick him, punch him. You can see here Behemoth knocks him down. And then we're going to bring, I believe it was Hades in to finish off the spider. Again, we're going to try to do a called shot at the leg to salvage the mech, even if we just sell it, but didn't get the rolls we needed and end up destroying the mech entirely.
Destroyed. Mission successful.
So all in all, a pretty lucrative mission for us there, really. 213,000 sea wheels in and of itself is really not bad. Capella and Confederation is really starting to hate us. We didn't take too much damage, although we did take some internal damage both on the Blackjack and the Jenner, and there it is. That's the big thing we wanted to see right there. There's our entire T-bolt, and this is me doing the cursor dance of joy. Scrolling through the rest of the salvage real quick just to make sure there's nothing particularly good in there. There wasn't, so obviously we're going to take all 3 pieces of that T-bolt, and hopefully we'll get 1 piece of the Hunchback, or maybe 3 pieces of the Urban Mech. We could conceivably get 2 mechs, but you know, we've been fairly lucky so far, so that was a little bit too much to ask for. Instead, we get a partial salvage on a Spider and partial salvage on the Urban Mech. So there's your little spiel on the 5S. And then I decided to go straight into the barracks to see what kind of skill increases we have for our pilots. And Medusa, even though he actually wasn't with us, he does get a little bit of experience, and that's just enough to pick up sensor lock for him. So that's a really nice upgrade. With Hades, I was a little bit torn. I kind of went back and forth about what to do. I considered Guts because he did take the head hit and the cockpit module saved him, but in the end I decided that the reduction to his minimum range was probably the most useful upgrade for him. Here with Glitch, I really thought about doing Guts, but it's hard to pass the bonus to called shot because that's really what's been stopping us from salvage mechs. Is without the tactics bonus, it gets difficult to put called shots where you want them. Decker, pretty easy choice here. We go for his piloting, the other half of his kind of reconnaissance skill set, if you will. And then Behemoth again. He kind of thought about it a little bit, but really gunnery is the easy choice here.
Training complete.
So with our pilots all trained, it's time to go into the mech bay and take a look at our brand new Thunderbolt 5S. Gonna have to do something with that Shadowhawk, but yeah, this is what I'm excited about. Again, more cursor dances of joy. And in the end, I went with a pretty simple modification. I just pulled the flamer out, replaced it with a medium laser, balanced the medium lasers across the torso so that it wouldn't be crippled if I lost the torso. It's nice. It gives me a dead left arm, kind of like a big mean Centurion. And yeah, like I said, it's really just a 20-ton light Battlemaster build, essentially. We went back to the sword looking for some interesting parts and pieces. We did find this rangefinder, which is pretty nice. What it does is it gives you a 25-meter bonus to your view range, so you can actually see and identify a mech sooner. So that's a real nice fit for our Jenner. Went ahead and pulled the comm system out of that and dropped the rangefinder in so that we can make a more effective scout out of him. And we'll rearrange some of that equipment maybe at a later date. The other thing I did is I really haven't been entirely thrilled with Glitch's Vindicator. The LRM-5 is, I don't think, very efficient for what it does. So we pulled the LRM-5 and the ammo as well as the small laser, and we replaced that with 4 medium lasers. So essentially what you have is a meaner, slower Phoenix Hawk with a PPC and 4 medium lasers instead of a large an array of mediums and smalls. So we went back looking for another contract because if I get a T-Bolt, I got to show you guys at least one game in it. And we found this interesting contract here. Actually, it's the Pirates that are looking for a mercenary. Now, basically, their complaint is that the Capellans have put a large single lone mech out in the hopes of luring them out, trying to ambush, and then they'll send in reinforcements and crush them. So actually what they want us to do is go and deliberately spring the trap and not only destroy this large, very powerful mech that's all alone, but essentially
Command
ambush the
interface
ambushers and
initiated.
take them out as well. So neat little combat drop here. I wish you could actually see. You can see they're actually going in by pods, a la 40K. And I'd like to see them hit the ground and the hatch is open, but Fog of War doesn't allow you to do that. Oh, no funny quote from Glitch this time. But yeah, here I was just zooming in to get a look at the pods. Look at them. They look almost exactly like 40K pods. But I assume there would be problems with collision and whatnot with them all opening at once. And that's probably why they do the Fog of War stuff. Anyway, the mech was right here, right down the road. And as you can see, it's an archer, which I'm both kind of excited and disappointed with. I'm excited because I would love to have an archer as a dedicated fire support missile platform. Uh, Kind of disappointed because archers, for me, are notoriously difficult to take down without them going boom.
Picking up a new sensor trace.
You can
Looks
see
like enemy reinforcements.
the reinforcements right there slinging LRMs at us. I kind of have a hunch that that's a 1M locust, just because we're
Over
still
here for now.
fairly early in the campaign. Could also be a Vindicator, but it tells me that they're coming and they'll be here in a few turns. So we reserve, try to pull the archer out of the cover. Instead, he walks right up to the edge of it and fires some medium lasers, which is probably all good. I mean, we should come out of the cover, but it's better than
I copy.
LRMs. So we go ahead and circle behind him with Decker and start getting some shots into his rear armor, softening him up. So no crits or nothing, but he can only take that once or twice. I think it's pretty
Commander.
productive. And if we get directly behind him, it actually negates his cover. So it starts things that we can use to solve this
Moving
fight if
to
it goes
position.
bad. And then we move our big T-bolt up. And we're just going to open up on this guy. You can see we could alpha strike if we wanted to. We might even be able to do it twice depending on the biome before we have to lay off. But I figured there was no need to it. Up in his face like this, the
Fire.
archer's borderline helpless. And we just pummel him with 4 medium lasers and an
Critical hit,
SRM-6,
Commander.
taking out an LRM-20. Bring Hades up in his blackjack. And we're going to pummel him a little bit more. Again, I'm looking at the torso here because I'm kind of expecting an ammo explosion. And there it is.
Enemy
So
net.
bad that we lose half of the archer. Good though, because that's 1 pilot injury and only 2 more. So if we can blow off a torso and cause him to fall or something, we might be able to take this mech out that way. But here again, he's only got so much center torso armor, so I actually lay off the PPC on Glitch's Vindicator and just open up with the 4 medium lasers.
Roger that. Firing on target.
And now we've opened up the other torso and crit the other
Never ignore where
LRM-20.
that came from.
But you can see the issue here is we don't have enough resolve yet, or morale, or whatever you want to call it, the resource that you spend to do precision strikes. And now we've got enough,
Moving to
but
position.
it's with Decker, and as we all know, you can't do a precision strike on a leg from behind. So we're going to go for a precision strike into that side torso and try to
Giving
take
him
that
everything
off,
I've got.
which will really only leave him with 2 medium lasers, so we can play with our food at that point.
Mech destroyed.
Yeah, but Decker kills him, and that was the cursor shake of frustration right there. What are you going to do? We're pretty lucky to get a T-bolt this early in the campaign, so you can't complain. And here you see the lance of reinforcements coming in. Man, my neighbor's dog is howling and the wind is howling. Hopefully you guys aren't picking that up. We go ahead and reserve, try to lure the rest of these reinforcements in. I'm already thinking about coming left and just fighting them on this north-south road from that fountain there. This guy's not going to cooperate. He's going for the alley. Looks like a Jenner. And then this guy's going to move up. Now that's where we want him to go, a Locust. And yeah, there we go. That's the guy that was shooting LRMs at us earlier. He fires some LRMs at Glitch or Behemoth's Thunderbolt, but yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot of good. And we briefly got a glimpse of that before he went out, but the fact that he jumped fairly short and fired a PPC at us tells us that that's more than likely a Panther. There's almost nothing else it could be. Gonna go ahead and reserve, see if we can try to get this guy to move. But apparently he had already moved. So we just go ahead and move Behemoth up and start lining up shots on this Locust because he's going to be pretty easy to take down. And this is what I love about this build, right? If you only want to fire the PPC, you have enough extra heat, you can take pot shots with medium lasers if they're in range. And Behemoth slams that PPC right into that Locust. I think it was his left leg, takes it off entirely and knocks him down. From there we bring Hades up, who apparently his specialization is shooting at down mechs, although he's not very good at it. And we do a called shot against the other leg to see if we can try to get this mech salvaged.
Enemy mech. Critical damage.
Instead, we get an arm instead of a leg. Well, what are you going to do? Move up and do it again with Glitch. One PPC. And there you go. Leg destroyed, so we got at least that whole Locust that we can salvage if we want it. And at this point, what I'm doing with Decker really is just running around back and forth. There we get the Inspired bonus, which will help with the precision strikes. It's too early at this point, I think, to move Decker in. I'd rather hang in the backfield and wait for an opening. There's that Jenner trying to hurt Behemoth's T-Bolt. And we're going to reserve again. Again, the whole idea is to make the AI, try to force the AI to make a mistake and then capitalize on it. Panther pilot's pretty good, jumping and slamming PPC shots home. It's kind of, kind of annoying. That's got to be another Panther. And he hits us again. So it's kind of annoying because that's going to mess up our shots for next turn. Again, I still feel like it's a little too soon to run Decker in. There's no solid opening for him to exploit. And I'm thinking about sensor locking that Jenner up there on top of that building, but instead I decided to go ahead and sensor lock this Panther, because that'll leave him with only one evasion chevron, and the cover's not really going to be enough to save him. Then we bring Glitch in, park her in the fountain there, which is apparently the deepest fountain in the world, because it's enough to give her a bonus to her heat dissipation, and go ahead and lay into this Panther with the PPC. Once again, we get a nice leg shot with the PPC there, straight into that Panther's left leg. Bring Hades up. And you see here, I'm looking at his leg. I think I went ahead and did a precision strike here, yeah, against that wounded leg. Try to take this Panther and knock him over. I'm weighing here how much I want to shoot. I decided to go ahead and shoot it all because invariably some of it will drift. And as expected, not only do we not get the leg, we blow off the useless arm. So that was kind of frustrating. But we'll move Behemoth's T-Bolt up and take another shot. Even with the sensor damage, at this point he doesn't have any evasion. So we have a reasonable chance to hit, at least with the PPC. Couldn't get lucky twice, but we did hit his torso, which also injures the pilot. So here again, kind of funky. You would think they'd move that Panther out of harm's way. Instead, the Jenner essentially doesn't move and takes a pot shot at Blackjack, which is at Hades' Blackjack, which is a little bit squirrely. I'm going to go ahead and reserve. Panther jumps up high, takes another pot shot at Hades. For whatever reason, they don't like the Blackjack. And that leaves the Panther hung out to dry, and now is the time to move Decker in. and another precision strike at that injured leg.
Acknowledge.
And it works out about as well as all of my precision strikes have so far. That might have been my fault. I probably should have laid off a medium laser. We may have actually done enough to transfer into the center,
All
but
weapons are
what are you going to
low.
do? Glitch comes up, slams that Jenner. PPC into the right arm, takes it off.
Yeah, critical hit.
That's right. And then since they've already moved and he can't really do much, you can see the heat coming off of him. I just back off with Hades and open up with everything. There goes his right leg and his right torso, so that's one injury for the torso, and of course he's going to take another one when he falls. So now I'm thinking, can I get a Jenner out of this? And I actually thought about just shooting the building out from underneath of him so he falls flat on his back, but then I was kind of worried that might be enough to destroy the mech. So I go ahead and try to do a precision strike or called shot into his other leg. Now, another mistake I made here, I probably should have laid off the PPC and just gone with 3 medium lasers, firing 3 weapons as insurance, because like I said, they're not all going to go into the leg. Even if they all hit, there's only, I think, like an 18, 15% chance to hit the leg. So that was probably a bad call on my part, but we didn't do enough damage to even kill him, let alone take off a leg, so it's all a wash. Interestingly, the Panther just jumps down, fires his PPC at us. Fortunately, this time he misses.
I copy.
And then I decide to hop Decker up on the roof that he just vacated, and once again try to take off the leg of this downed Jenner. Quick math here, debating. I decided to go ahead and lay off one so that maybe it won't be overkill if they do go into the leg. I looked at the numbers. I actually got an 85% chance to hit if I went ahead and did this via precision strike, so I did that.
Hostile removed.
Worked perfectly, right?
On my way.
And then the funniest thing that I think has happened in the playthrough so far. At this point, the game's pretty much over, so I'm just clicking this Panther down here and hitting fire everything. Yeah, didn't realize I clicked the building. Yeah, yeah, I did that, guys. I shot the building out from underneath Decker.
Target acquired.
Fortunately, he just took a ton of leg damage, but it wasn't enough to go internal. And we finished that mech off in the next turn. So, easy peasy lemon squeezy. It was a shot and then Archer. We took it. Unfortunately, we just we don't have enough morale and resolve to do precision strikes when we need to, but we're getting there. We're getting better, and we're also getting the bonuses. There's some massive leg damage that I caused to Decker's chin when I shot the building out from underneath of him. We did get one piece of the Archer, so that's nice, and we've seen some parts for sale. We also got enough to we could conceivably have completed a Panther. I decided to take 1 and 1 and see if I get lucky with the remaining Panther salvage on the random draw, and we did. So that's nice. We at least got a Panther out of it and 1/3 of an Archer.
Ready to fight, Commander.
So that's about it for this playthrough, or this episode really. I spent probably about 2 months literally flying around the butt end of the frontier where we are now looking for an AC-10 for the Centurion, since we literally just cannot find one. And yeah, two financial reports I spent flying around just trying to find an AC-10. You guys will not believe this. I could not find an AC-10 anywhere, but I finally found a planet that had every class of autocannon except for class 10, had improved versions of them, and then randomly had an LB-10X with a ton, like a metric ton of ammo. So what I ended up doing was buying an LB-10X and go ahead and putting that on the Centurion, and that means that we are all set. In the next episode, it is war. We are going to Weldry and we are going to attack the Directorate. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below, and stay tuned. On the next episode, we are going to take the fight to the Directorate. I will see you guys then. You guys take care.